In the top stories, St. Kitts and Nevis joins the CARICOM 50th anniversary celebrations. Gas bottle explosion in Guyana leaves 8 homeless, and 2 killed and dozens wounded in Baltimore mass shooting. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Monday, the 3rd of July, 2023. I'm Jason Davis. Nationally, St. Kitts and Nevis is being represented at the 45th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago from July 3 to 5. The agenda for the 45th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM will cover several recurring and new issues, including the CARICOM single market and economy, climate change, including climate finance, agriculture and food security, trade negotiations, education, and health. St. Kitts and Nevis's delegation attending the meeting includes Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, Permanent Secretary in the Prime Minister's Office Glenroy Blanchett, St. Kitts and Nevis's Plenipotentiary Representative to CARICOM His Excellency Larry Vaughan, Foreign Service Officer in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Bjorn Hazel, and Musical Ambassador to Ministry of Sport and Creative Economy, Kervin Infamous Benjamin. On the 4th of July 1973, CARICOM was established to deepen regional integration. This year, the region will celebrate 50 years since the signing of the Treaty of Chaguaramas and the accomplishments of CARICOM. The milestone will be celebrated with several events under the slogan, 50 years strong, a solid foundation to build on. There will be several activities to mark the 50th anniversary, and one significant event is CARICOM Day, which will be commemorated as a public holiday on July 4 this year only. Other activities include a kids 1K road race, a 5K and 10K road race, flag raising ceremony, and a CARICOM 50th anniversary concert. A representative from each CARICOM member state will perform a cultural presentation at the anniversary concert. Kervin Infamous Benjamin will be representing St. Kitts and Nevis with one of his pieces. The CARICOM 50th anniversary concert will be streamed live at Independence Square at the CARICOM Experience Food Fair and Entertainment Night with live performances by Erica Edwards, Dijon, DJ Tero, and EK. The Embassy of St. Christopher and Nevis in the Republic of China, Taiwan, launched its Sharing Kindness and Nurturing Love, or SKN Love, outreach program earlier this month. During his remarks at the launching ceremony, the Federation's ambassador to Taiwan, His Excellency Doña Francis, explained that this year St. Kitts and Nevis will reach 2 significant milestones: 40 years of independence on September 19 and 40 years of diplomatic partnership with the Republic of China, Taiwan a few weeks later. He said the aim of SKN Love is to create and promote a greater familial bond between the people of St. Kitts and Nevis and the people of Taiwan through the hosting of and participation in different activities. The embassy, in collaboration with the Association of St. Kitts and Nevis in Taiwan, will be hosting several activities over the coming months in celebration of the 4040 anniversary. Ambassador Francis announced that the activities for the 4040 anniversary will include the official reveal of a logo or symbol commemorating the Federation's 40 years of diplomatic relations with Taiwan, more book donations to libraries and schools, an English summer camp for high school students, volunteering with various organizations that cater to vulnerable populations, and a reception to celebrate Independence 40. In other news, the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Marine Resources and Cooperatives is inviting all livestock members to the second in a series of animal nutrition management training sessions on Monday, 17th July at the Department of Agriculture Large Conference Room. The topic is animal nutrition, the fundamental building block of animal health and productivity. To register for training, interested persons are asked to visit the Livestock Division at the Department of Agriculture or call 465-2110 for further information. The sessions are scheduled to begin at 6:30 p.m. We now move to news on the regional scene. In Guyana, a propane gas cylinder explosion occurred at a three-story building in Non-Parial, East Coast Demerara, resulting in 8 homeless individuals. Tiana Cole reports.
The fire occurred at Lot 360, Section B, Non-Parial, East Coast Demerara. The three-story wooden and concrete building housed a grocery store on the bottom flat, and several families were occupying the 2 upper flats, which were used as apartments. When nightly news visited the location on Friday morning, the owners of the O&C variety store, located on the bottom flat, were seen cleaning the facility. The owner of the variety store, who requested anonymity, reported that she had locked up her business early, since it was a holiday and was on the Linden-Suzac Highway, when she received a call stating that the building was on fire. By the time she got to the location, members of the fire service were on site, as the top section of the building was engulfed. A neighbor who witnessed the fire said that she was at home at around 18:30 hours, when she saw smoke emanating from the front portion of the upper flat of the building. The Guyana Fire Service said they received a call at around 18:32 hours, and 2 tenders responded. The eastern side of the top floor was occupied by 49-year-old Maxine Murray and 32-year-old Grayman Douglas, while the western side, Aliza Cummins and her daughter, resided on the western side. The eastern side of the first floor was occupied by 39-year-old Renika Muka, 35-year-old Kelvin Reddy, and a 12-year-old child. The ground floor was occupied as a supermarket and a general store. By the time the fire was extinguished, the top floor and its contents were all destroyed. The first floor was severely damaged, and the ground floor suffered water damage due to firefighting operations, displacing all occupants of the building. The fire was a result of flammable vapors released from a liquefied petroleum gas cylinder that came into contact with open flames from a lit gas stove. The fire subsequently ignited nearby combustible materials and spread throughout the second and first floor of the building, respectively. As fires continue to ravage homes and businesses, the fire department is again urging citizens to be cautious and put measures in place to avoid the devastation caused by fires. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Internationally, a manhunt is underway after 2 people were killed and 28 others wounded in a mass shooting at a neighborhood street party in the city of Baltimore, the latest deadly incident of gun violence in the United States. Al Jazeera's Paul Shadajian reports.
The remnants of what was supposed to be a celebration in this Baltimore neighborhood, barbecue and children's bikes. Now the gloves of medics sit among them, a sign of another mass shooting.
Currently, we're still at 30 victims. Ages range from 13 to 32. 9 victims remain at area hospitals in various conditions. 2 victims have been pronounced deceased.
Nearly half the victims were under the age of 18. Police believe there was more than one shooter. They have not been found. Officials say this is just another example of America's gun violence epidemic.
This is insanity. This cannot be the society that we are expected to live in. We have to do better.
Maryland has some of the strictest gun laws in the country, but officials say that makes little difference.
This year alone, the Baltimore Police Department has seized 1,345 illegal guns that were in the hands of people that should not have them, that had them anyway because they're so easy for them to obtain.
Baltimore is the second deadliest city in the U.S. and one of the poorest. Experts say it all helps create the cycle of violence.
Poverty, unemployment, an education system that continues to not work for all of the children here. But at the same time, in order for us to keep the community safe, including those children, it is really a pressing matter. It is urgent that we get a handle on the violence.
The police union says a big part of the problem is that they are short-staffed. They are down 700 officers, and hiring here has been difficult. But the problem is years old, and the Baltimore PD has had problems of its own.
No justice! No peace!
In 2015, large protests followed the death of Freddie Gray in police custody. More recently, a massive police corruption scandal, more than a dozen officers arrested for robbing drug dealers of drugs and guns to sell them themselves. Baltimore is a city in crisis, adding 30 more gun violence victims to an already long list. Paul Chadurjian, Al Jazeera.
And now for the weather. Present weather is partly cloudy with dust haze. The temperature for today is 31 degrees Celsius or 87 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are a moderate breeze of 15 miles per hour from the northeast. Seas are moderate with waves of 4 to 7 feet. A small craft caution is in effect mainly for the eastern side of the islands. The weather forecast in St. Kitts and Nevis today will be partly cloudy, becoming generally cloudy after midday with an 80% or very high chance of showers. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a 70% or high chance of showers. Sunset today will be at 6:49 p.m. and sunrise tomorrow will be at 5:41 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jason Davis.